你肯定是要 focus， 就是要集中在一个地方做。
You need to have some very innovative things.
谢谢今天请我过来介绍一下 Bucket。
How do you balance your life?
How do you promote them? Whom you're competing with?
What do you need from me?
会东西人才由梦想舞台及创新大计，欢迎您来到《西游记》，我是主持人丁维平。When other people saying we cannot, and we say why not? Dingding TV is also a startup. For startup, you really need the platform for the startup to show who you are, to show people your dream. That's why we're doing this.
The show will go like this. We will introduce you as a company. Judge will give you an overall voting. This project is fundable or not fundable.
希望就是给我团队和我团队的产品做一个宣传。
I'm actually looking to pick his brain for strategies of how to get into the market.
I hope that the judges will like me, obviously.
我对今天得到评委们的支持还是很有信心的。
我有点紧张，因为这位那个 VC 非常聪明。
Actually, yes, I'm nervous, but I'm looking forward to this very much.
当年唐僧带着孙悟空等人吧去西方取经，实际上现在中美的合作已经是互相取经。西游记实际上是把高技术带到中国，同时中国呢又给高技术提供了很多市场。
我们橡子园在这几年都是在帮助这有创业意识的人去创业，希望西游记能够鼓励更多的年轻的人能够走进这一步，
希望能够给创业的同仁提供一个新的渠道。
你们心里面有准备，我们就有准备来支持你们。
那自己要把自己定位，自己是什么样的人才？
你在创业的时候如果你能找少的合作伙伴，而不要找太多的。
The first and foremost is you have to have a good team.
You really have to be passionate about what you are doing.
You have to first go for the people with whom you have chemistry.
The starting team define the scalability.
Most important is to be engaged and to listen.
Creativity, optimism, and perseverance.
Finding the entry point to leverage yourself.
创业像一首歌，或者说《西游记》这个节目呢，也像一首歌一样，需要坚持你的节奏，知道你的旋律，而且把这个声音呢从内心发出来。
So we'll provide apps for retail stores.
Simplified version.
它还不是一个 spam，
是一个 pocket.
Transfer anything freely between.
我觉得能够和这么多非常有经验的这些评委老师有很深入的一个交流，我觉得特别开心。
It is a very good opportunity for me to present our project in front of so many experienced VC.
They give a lot of good comments.
It's very helpful.
Battle Silicon help the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs to connect with the most senior VC angel investors.
It's a very wonderful combination of startup media company, media producers, judges, and also very wonderful contestants.
I think the design of the show is very well suited for entrepreneurs who wants to become successful.
We encourage every startup to come here.
Just follow your dream, to do what you love.
我自己在创业，所以我觉得如果我们能够帮助创业的人，让他这一段路呢，让他不再孤独，让他觉得说有人跟你一起走，然后有好的经验和你一起分享，也有导师帮你提出非常有建设性的建议，这个呢就是我们的初衷啊。
We always complain that why we do not always
why
come
you
to
use
US.
he instead of her?
Sorry.
Diana Ding, founder and CEO of Silicon Valley Innovation Channel, Dingding TV, Santa Clara County Asian American Hero Award winner.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Battle Silicon. I'm Diana Ding. First of all, we would like to invite the CEO of Cyberport, Mr. Herman Lam, give us a welcome speech.
Well, thank you very much, Diana, and to all the audience, and also I want to thank all the judges coming all the way to Cyberport to help us to host today's Battle Silicon. This is actually the third Battle Silicon at Cyberport, and so welcome back indeed. Not only we have organized Battle Silicon here at Cyberport, we have also many teams actually go and participate in the Battle Silicon at Silicon Valley, and many of them actually find investors. Many of them has extended their operations to the United States through this particular platform. So this is a very important event for us, and we're always very happy to have all of you come back to Cyberport, come back to Hong Kong. As a matter of fact, the whole event started at the same time is also Hong Kong's the startup ecosystem also has gone through a very vibrant stage of development as well. If I recall, when we first have our team joining the Battle Silicon back in the United States, our platform is roughly about 250 companies on the Cyberport platform. And ever since then, with the help of many partners like Diana, yourself, and also Leslie, we have together grown this platform to a very different stage now. So I'm very proud to report to you where we are today. So as we stand today, the companies at on the Cyberport platform is actually close to 600. And about 100 of them are more established companies, and about 500 of them actually are startups, SMEs, up and coming entrepreneurs. And Battle Silicon is not, in my mind, a guest to the event, to the ecosystem. Battle Silicon is part of the system, and also actually is one of the early players. So you helped to develop all this for us. So with this, I want to really thank the team for helping us to bring all this, interest, making entrepreneurship interesting. I think is what this is all about, and through that we have learned a lot, and we have created a lot of opportunities for our startups to connect with the world as well. So I really look forward to today's event. I know we have a very strong panel of judges, and also we have a few very strong teams participating today. So I think it's going to be great, and I wish everyone have a very successful event today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Herman. Herman was the one who brought the Hong Kong team to Silicon Valley, and one of the team, Open Ball, has got their funding and landed in Silicon Valley. So actually, like Herman said, we are not a guest. With each time I come here, especially today, I feel I belong to Cyberport. Yeah, it's such a good feeling to come back. And also, like Herman just mentioned, we not only make this interesting, actually we found the meaning of what we are doing each time. And we find the meaning of, we are also a startup, we found the meaning of what we're doing, and we're telling the story of startups to the whole world. And through this show, actually this reached to 200 million audience in United States and all over the world. So such a great honor. And next, we are so honored to have Mr. Gregory So, Secretary of Commerce and Economic Development of Hong Kong. Let's welcome Mr. So.
Thank you, Diana, Herman, panel judges, Dr. Lee. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be back here. I remember the last time we gathered for Battle Silicon in Cyberport was exactly 1 year ago. And understand that since then, you have been back. This is your third time bringing, and I also want to thank Cyberport for bringing this event, a very much sought after event, reality show, back to Hong Kong. And as Herman said, things are really, really exciting right now in Hong Kong. There are startups springing up all over the place. And this is really an exciting phenomenon that we're experiencing. A lot of these startups have secured very remarkable achievement. They have gained financial support, and a lot of them actually acquired by larger companies, and others really have carved themselves up really a niche in the global market. And I remember actually one startup who pitched in this event have obtained financial support and expand into the American markets. And this leads me to think about another phenomenon in Hong Kong. We have all over the place now a lot of niche restaurants and serving up exciting foods in Hong Kong. Not only startup, but also exciting restaurant scenery. And I'm thinking, what are the similarity? What are the things in common between these startups and restaurants? And I think you must have a very good recipe. And recipe, you got to be creative. You got to try really hard to have a good business method. And we can't really do what other people have already achieved. I'm thinking that by repeating what they did, we will achieve success in the future. It doesn't work like that. You have to survey the market and see what is the gap in the market and fill that place. You can't be a Bill Gates and start an operating system. You can't be like, you cannot be like any other great entrepreneur and repeat what the business model that had before. You must come and survey the market and have your own, and have coming up with a great recipe. Secondly, you must have the ingredients to make it successful. And in startup, the important ingredients is your teammate, people with the experience to back up your business idea to make it big. And even if you have the great recipe and you have the great ingredients, you really have to have it tested in the market. And I think everybody has a different taste buds. And I think the best tasting food must be what your mother used to prepare for you at home. And since we all have we all have a different parent, your taste may not be what the other people like. And therefore, the market is the judge. And so you must come up with something that the market enjoys. So your startup company must be tested by the market. If the market does not really take up your idea, then you really have to think about how to change your business model in order to cater to the taste of people. Perhaps it's really strengthen promotion. So startup need to be very adaptive and serve up a course that really the market will receive. And I feel that today, that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a great feast together and feasting on what the creative business ideas that our startups are going to pitch today. And the judges are all sitting over here, and we have a very exciting arraignment of startups making the pitches today. And let the battle begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Gregory So. And Mr. So mentioned about the food. Actually, Hong Kong is famous for their best food in the world. So we're here today. We have our judge to add some better ingredient to make Hong Kong food go global and fit the taste of the global taste. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to give you a short introduction of our judges and eco-doctors. Let's watch the video.
Peter Hsieh, Chief Strategy Officer of Coretronic Corporation and President of Coretronic Venture Capital, Independent Director of iSoftStone. Ray Wu, Founding Partner of Skype Ventures, an angel investor, former Managing Director of HP Ventures, and Senior Executive leading Cisco software-related M&A and investment. A.K. Low, Director of Techstars. He has spent over 6 years across the European and New York City startup communities, including serial entrepreneurship, angel investment, and mentorship. Leslie Yuan, founder of Globalization Training Office, multiple decades of cross-border go-to-market experience. Dr. Wei Chen Li, Counselor Faculty, San Jose State University, former Chair, Multicultural Concerns Commission, National Academic Advising Association.
Well, we're going to introduce the most important one right now. And she is Miss Catherine Look, and she's a co-founder of Halifax Investment. If you don't know this company, and you have probably watched the movie 赤壁, right? And her company was the first one to invest 赤壁 1 and 赤壁 2. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give our hands to our judges and Dr. Lee. It's great. So now let's welcome our startup. First startup is Leo Wang from Sensbeat to the stage.
So today I come here is to learn more about the culture from different people in different backgrounds, especially to meet with like-minded people and people who are much more experienced than me in the startup fields.
Leo, now you start to tell us about your company. You got 3 minutes.
Okay. So thank you for having me here. I hope I'm one of the delicious food here. And I'm Leo, the co-founder of Sensbeat. And today I'm here to look for strategic resources and advice on the products that we are building. So Sensbeat is a mobile-first social media that allows people to share their feelings with music. So I had this idea when to exchange, because I went to different countries and often listen to different songs. So I want to share that feelings with my friends in Hong Kong. So I was wondering, Facebook and Twitter cannot do that, and Instagram is mainly photos. So how about the music and the emotions associated? So that's how we created Sensbeat. And we believe music primarily is to convey an emotion. So we want to create a new way of expression. And this is how the app works. So for example, you're hiking or you're on the beach and listening to a song, you're feeling energetic or hardworking, and then you can take a photo. That is the visual part. And then your emotions and the song is a portion of song that you share or you're listening to at that particular moment. So your friends will know how you feel at that time. And not only that, you will also be able to know the past music moments, is what we call it, in different parts of the world, especially the location that near you. So we're introducing 2 versions. One is outside China called Sensbeat. One is now that we are focusing on in China called Yuedong. And there are a few advantages of doing so. First is because of the cultural advantage. And the second one is because we're also working with Copyright Protection Center of China. And the third one is iMusic, 爱音乐. And our targets will be 14 to 22-year-old females, and mainly 3 provinces first, Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. And our team is a team of post-90s, and we just incubated from Plug and Play, which also incubated Dropbox, Lending Club, and PayPal. And we were the youngest team in the batch and the only team from China. And that is Sensbeat Yuedong. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Leo. Thank you. Actually, you mentioned that your company is the first social media company that provides users the best way to express their moments. How do you know you are the first?
Because I think, a lot of time people focus on the listening part of the music, but then there are many music sharing services. So therefore, our focus is not only on the music, but more about the feelings,
so
the stories.
So you think you are the first, right?
I believe we believe we are confident that we are the
okay,
first.
Good.
If not the first, then we'll make it the last.
Okay, let's hear judges' questions. Peter.
Hi,
Peter.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have a question for you. When you say you're going to build a platform here, are you building your platform on top of other hardware companies such as Xiaomi, or you're building a platform on top of software platform companies such as Facebook? Either way, where are you going to get your money from? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Peter. So right now we are still standalone app, so we are not building on top of other platforms, but then we can share it socially to other platforms. For example, for the outside version is Facebook or Instagram. For the China version, that is WeChat or Weibo, and so on. And the second question is how to make money when we are doing this. So there are a few ways. So first is the affiliation with various parties, including the music services. Because in our platform, it's not the whole song, it's a portion of song. So we hope our users, they come to our platform, is not listening to music, but to evoke an experience or to feel what your friends are feeling. So if they want to listen to the full song, then they can go to other music service providers. So there is a revenue split with other parties. And then the second one and the third one would be more on some of the data analytics that we have got in different locations with our products. So not only for the other brands, but also for us to understand more about our users. Thank you.
Okay, so Ray, do you got a question?
Yeah, I do think you have a good model because in many ways there's a lot of, I think, emotions triggering from the music, right? So it's pictures and emotions. Those are the social elements seem to pick up the most. I do want think through your business model, though. If you look at, for example, I know you are not Pandora, right? But Pandora's, the growth is there, right? So the IPO at 100 million user base, and then now they're about 280s, and the revenue triples as well. So that space is definitely growing. That's why I like the space. Their model, if you look at their business model, they're about 80% come from, I would say, ads, advertisement, 25% from the subscription. So for your models, you talk about the revenue sharings and also the analytics. I'm trying to figure out exactly, so these are some of the new segmentations, or is it old segmentations? How do you really tap into the existing spending patterns of the already out there in the marketplace? For example, if you look at ads, right? How do you, can you share ads as part of the experience, right? Or can you do, is it subscriptions? Is it something that gives you a sustainable model over time?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Wu. So from what we are thinking is that some of the options that you have mentioned that we have also considered before, but we are not 100% sure which one to go for first, because I think it's also better for us to understand the user patterns before we decide it. But we are also testing it step by step. For the affiliation part, that is the revenue split part, that is one of the easiest to test it out. So we want to test this part first. So for the questions that you have raised about the model or the spending patterns, so the spending pattern, because here is a bit hard for us to test it out, because we're not trying to get money from the users, but more importantly, I think is get money from the other parties, for example, the brands. And these are the things that we have like built in our platform to test it out after we have achieved critical mass later on. Yeah.
Yeah, Tech, I noticed you wrote down many questions, and let's hear yours.
Yeah, I tend to write a lot. Hi, Leo.
Hi.
We've met before. Thank you for presenting again. So I've got 3 questions. So first, I mean, this is a social media app. Growth is the most important, user growth, right? So you talked about critical mass as well. So my first question is really kind of what is your current user base, and what's your monthly growth?
So for now, since we have 2 versions, and for the China version one, we haven't launched it yet. We are planning to launch in the coming weeks, if not month. And then for the outside version that I think you're talking about is on the Sensbeat. So for now, we launched it in Hong Kong. So about 10 in 1 students in Hong Kong are using it. So about 12,000 users. And the retention rate is about 30 to 40%. Yeah.
Okay. Second question. So content, right? So you're dealing with music content, a lot of digital rights, music, DRM issues here.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with content? How are you dealing with DRM?
Okay, so for the Sensbeat versions, we are connected with iTunes, so they have like a public APIs that we can use about the affiliation. So for the China version is on the 2 parts. One, especially with the iMusic, iYingyue. So we are leveraging on their music database. Is quite a lot.
I mean, it's tricky, right?
Yeah, it is.
Potentially very tricky.
It is. Yeah.
Third question, I'm going to disagree with Ray here. I think the streaming music industry, I think, is increasingly fragmenting. Jay-Z just started Tide. We've got Spotify. Taylor Swift is jumping off of Spotify. There's so many music stars, and it's just literally a graveyard of dying music stars. Why do you think you can succeed?
Yeah, because there are a few points. So the first one is, again, similar to the first arguments that I've made, is a lot of people, they focus on the listening or the enjoyment part of the music. But we believe it's more than that. It's a way of communication. It's more powerful than merely photos, pictures, or videos. Imagine a lot of the important moments in movies, they have like music coupled with it, dun 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 dun, or something like that. Yeah, so I think these are the critical points that we're looking at to help our users to share their different feelings or different emotions at any location more easily or effectively in different parts of the world. Thank you for your question.
Catherine, do you have any questions?
So I have one question. Yeah. So how much do you need for the funding, and how are you going to spend the money?
I like the question.
I like the question too. So for now, we're closing some investment for now. So mainly want to see if there are any on the strategic resources side and advice that you can give. So for now, we have a run rate of about 12 months. So we'll focus on the next round of financing later, maybe about 6 to 8 months, and then we'll try to raise it from there. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, Leslie.
Yeah, Leo. User experience is very important to make a social media platform like this to grow.
Yes.
Can you share with us about your customer acquisition? What are the feedbacks that are giving you? In particular, you have both versions, one in China, one outside of China, and how do you address those?
You only got 1 minute to answer.
Okay, thank you for your question, Leslie. So right now, we have basically pivoted our markets to putting all our resources on the China versions because of some of the advantages that I've mentioned. And so for the previous version, the cost of acquisition is about 2 to 5 HKD per users for the early users. And so for them, we want, it would be great if they could bring about 2 to 5 people into our platform. I think that's how to make it the whole experience work, especially the viral part of the social network. And for the music experience part, so because we are not downloading the full song, it's just part of the song, so we can pretty much make sure that part is well established. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Thank you. So what the music should be for you right now, for this moment?
Best moment of my life.
Okay, good. So let's see the judge's vote for you. Dang, 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 dang. Yes, let's vote for him. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it's great.
Thank you.
Okay, let's come into the EQ session, and we have some numbers for you to choose. And
numbers.
Well, we have some EQ questions. You choose a number, and then we give you the question under that number.
I see. Number 2, please.
Number two. Okay, let's see number 2 question for Leo. Yeah, Dr. Lee.
So this is a easy but tricky question, but I have a feeling you will be fine with it.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Someone gave you feedback about your business plan, and you disagree. So you said, let me clarify. You missed an important point. C, you do not understand. D, none of the above.
What's your choice?
D.
D, why?
I will show you later, I would say.
You will show me later?
Yeah. Oh, you mean how I will respond?
How would you respond? If it's none of above, then what's your...
I will first understand why he or she says the statement that she was trying to say, and then understand from her perspective or his perspective, and then I will say corresponding. For example, if say, this is my arguments that I'll be, testing or I'll be doing. So, I'll show it later. I'll show it to you later. Yeah.
Okay. So
prove it to you later.
I'm smiling because first of all you say he or she. Thank you.
I like that too.
Second of all is that you show the attitude. So what if the person say your business plan is totally terrible?
Great. I would like to hear why they think so, because listening to different perspectives is really important, and especially from the people. I presume the people are more experienced than I do, so it would be great to learn from them.
Okay, so see, my prediction is right.
Yeah, well, it's great. I really like your attitude. You are so young, but you're so calm and confident. So let's see, just vote on your EQ session. Three, 2, 1. Wow, congratulations.
谢谢. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
So I'm going to have you draw out a number of the judge, and then you ask your questions.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 1 is Tech Low. So what's your question to him?
So my questions would be, so what are the 3 important points that we should be aware of when we are focusing in mainland China.
Tech was trying to find out if you are number one or not in the category.
Yeah, I'm also looking at
tech.
I don't even know what number. I was gonna hope that it was Ray, but so I think the thing is, I think someone said customer acquisition. I think that's a really important point, right? I think customer acquisition is always going to be key. I mean, you're not a revenue generating business right from the start, right? You're a growth business. So keeping your customer acquisition costs down and as lean as possible is certainly key.
How about the retention? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
How
very
about
much, yeah.
the retention, because you said growth is important, but retention I think is somehow more important than growth.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think it's honestly a bit of both. So I think any good investor will probably say
interrelated.
Yeah. But they also want to see growth, right?
Yeah.
So
yes, that
fair
is true.
point. I think retention is also really, really important. But on the other hand, keep in mind that growth, right, and keep that trajectory high.
Yes.
I think let's see what else. I had some. I think the DRM issues it's always going to come up. I think so. I think you had a great answer. Just as you go into China, start finding out what those issues are and keep on driving towards it. I think let's see, customer acquisition, and I think just continue to build out your team. So right now it seems like you've got two different markets, you've got two different apps. That can be worrying, right? Because they're very different. The consumer base is very, very different, and Chinese consumers are also very different as well in the way they consume music.
Yes.
And so I think. How many team members do you have so far?
For now, we have 10 people. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a big enough team where you have resources to take a look.
We'll focus on the China part. Yeah.
That's right, and continue to focus, right?
Yes.
Because you can start splitting energy and awareness somewhere else, and that can be incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
Right. So just make sure you're focused, making sure you understand, and I guess the fourth point is really understanding how to grow, right? How to grow, in which cities are you going to grow, what regions are you going to start thinking about those growth hacks. That's going to be continue, as a key.
Okay.
Keep the optimism. You're pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for your answer.
Very good. Leo, actually, this is called 西游记. So you heard about that story.
对的.
And regarding all the characters there in the story, which one do you think you are and why?
孙悟空.
孙悟空. Okay.
对的.
Why?
Because he always wanted to go in front and try different things, and sometimes make mistakes, but then pat shoulder and then come back. Pat shoulder. What does that mean? Yeah, yeah, and then come back. You know what? So I think
very good. So
mindset. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, very positive mindset. Okay, let's see the judges vote for your overall fundable or not. 3, 2, 1. Wow! Congratulations.
I should have investment.
Well, that means
Actually, I'm looking for $1 billion. Thank you.
$1 billion? Oh no. Well, so Catherine, you may ask that question. So you're really interested in some case considering investing on him?
Yes, because I'm involved into entertainment business, so I would like to invest related IT business too.
Wow! Congratulations.
Let's talk about.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so now you get some time to interact with Judge. Then, do you have other questions, or do you guys have other questions to help him to develop his right business model? Yes,
Yeah,
Peter, would you like? Can you just turn on the? Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all judges have similar questions in terms of customer acquisition. Even when I was asking you about platform, I think you need to think very hard, no matter what type of customer or what platform you ride on, who owns that customer?
Okay.
Is it 爱音乐 in China that they own the customer name list? Okay. And also further on top of that, you need to think about Are you stealing revenue from them, or you are helping them increasing their revenue base in terms of number of users, or per user revenue? I think these are the two key things I would urge you to think very, very hard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I add a little bit to when you're originally talking about kind of expanding in China? I come from the US market, and then I've been in the China market for a few years. So what I advise you to think carefully in terms of these markets are very different. China market is truly very different. Business model are different. CPMs or ads model are very, very different in terms of whether you can make it outside. For example, in the US, a lot of these companies purely on ads model can work very well. In China, it's actually pretty hard for them. So think through that differences. And then from your product perspective, I always think about when you look at the company, you either build a product very well and you market or sell a product very well, right? That's a two part of your business. Make sure that when you design that, I agree with Tech that in many ways you could be thinking through two different kind of product and how do you consolidate that? And then when you think about selling and marketing that product, also distribution channels are very important, right? And these are very different, and how you market to that segmentation is different. So you're facing, if you think China is the main market, just upfront work with someone who really know that market. I think Hong Kong is very close, but China is still, I would say, different. So working with some people you really trust, make sure that you have the right channel. Think through the business model upfront. I would say a lot of people kind of grow that without thinking the end point. I think having the end point is that where in the end where you want to be, then extract backwards and figure out what your strategies need to be. So that's just quick advice because I don't know your business model that well. So let me just.
I see. So what are the key differences that you have noticed from your experience of working across different countries that we should be aware of in terms of building the product and business in China?
Sure. So the two models. So let's talk through. One is subscription model. China's subscription model is very hard. The C does not like to pay in many ways, and most times it's all free, right? So that's definitely different from the rest of the world, where potentially the C would pay with subscription model, right? The second is from if you look at per CPM rate, right? In the US, I could get if it's very target CPM, for example, Google AdSense, I can get to $1, sometimes $1 to $3 per CP, basic per click, sometimes per CPC, right? In the China, I would say mobile CPC is about pennies in RMB, right? So that's, and then you're looking at your spending. China's, even from bandwidth perspective, actually is not cheaper than the US. Actually, we did that comparison. We look at through the business models. The things through how you're actually, from a streaming, obviously you're consuming more bandwidth compared to text, right? Obviously, so the things through your bandwidth usage versus your revenue model, and where that's going to come from, right? So that's different. I was thinking that just from some numbers, you should run through that, validate your assumptions to make sure that whatever you're understanding today in terms of what you're testing market in Hong Kong is similar to what you're going to get in China.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Actually, you have many connections with China. Are you going to introduce him to some of your connections?
Sure, happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm trying to hook you with. Trying to use as much as the resource you have here. Well, it's great. We're so happy that the first startup showed a very good example, and it's all about define yourself, find yourself on the right position, on the right timing, and doing the right thing, and with the right people.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Leo.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Leo, come back, and Dr. Wei Qianli.
Ladies.
Okay. Thank you, Leo, and thanks everybody. That's first team. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Thank you for having me here. So today I've been feeling wonderful, and especially seeing people from different backgrounds and with different experience, and the startups from Hong Kong as well. And I've learned a lot from the judges, especially they have experience in different locations, different countries, China and US. And there are a lot of things that we should keep in mind when we are going to different markets. And that is also something that in particular important for us at this stage. So that is why their advice has been really useful for us at this particular stage and later on to scale and to expand as well. So thank you.
西游记合作单位包括向子源、长城企业战略咨询、凤凰视频、蔚源科创、Plug and Play、中关村硅谷创投、A New Domain、香港数码港、东方之星视讯网、兰亭集创。